and Blue is a new cop thriller that is definitely made in the vein of Training Day, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. So right off the bat, this movie's got my attention. It stars Naomi Harris, Tyrese Gibson, and Frank Grillo. Naomi Harris in this movie plays a rookie cop who recently got out of the military. One night she is assigned to ride with a veteran cop who's been on the force for a while, and then she sees him and a bunch of other narcs doing a whole bunch of really illegal shit. It's bad enough that they're doing illegal shit, but then she also catches it on video with her body cam, and so now these narcs, these corrupt cops, are after her because they want to kill her and they want her body cam. So now Naomi Harris has to try to navigate through the streets of New Orleans, escaping from the police and trying to stay one step ahead of them so that she can deliver the evidence to the station and deliver, you know, the narcs to justice and that whole thing. So what you guys think? You guys think I should do the supers and the Luthors of this video in shades of black and blue, you know, to just kind of go with the theme of the movie? Nah, I don't think I will. It's doing a little bit too much. Besides, this movie's not good enough to justify me being that extra. I'm a big Naomi Harris fan. I think that she's a terrific actress. I like her as Eve Moneypenny in the James Bond movies. But I think I actually have a weakness and a fetish for beautiful black women that have British accents. I'm not sure what it is. That's just always been a thing with me. In fact, I think I have a dream that one day I'm gonna move to London and I'm gonna fall in love with a beautiful black woman with a British accent who happens to like Superman as much as I do. I know she's out there, damn it. I know she is. She has to be out there. And I'm not gonna propose to her in a video like this. That would be weird, but we should totally get married, whoever you are. Back to Naomi Harris. I feel like it's cliche to say, but she carries pretty much this entire movie on her shoulder blades. She is a rookie, so definitely there's a sense of naivety to her character. She's very positive and she believes in the good and in doing the right thing and all that stuff. At the same time, she also blends her character with enough toughness and attitude and emotion to make you feel invested in her. Naomi Harris blended all of these elements together in a winning performance that again carried the entire movie. Generally speaking, I don't make it a habit to praise Tyrese in any movie that he's in. It's not because I hate Tyrese or anything, it's just because I feel like most of the time he doesn't do anything that's praiseworthy. But in this movie he plays a character that kind of unintentionally gets dragged into Naomi Harris and her situation, and he has to be like her partner, he has to help her out with some stuff. Tyrese isn't given much to work with in this movie as a character, but as far as him acting goes, I feel like in this movie he gives a solid workmanlike performance. It's one of those gritty, realistic cop thriller type of movies, so in that sense there's definitely moments where the director really knows how to ratchet up the tension. There are some suspenseful chase sequences and shootouts that are really entertaining to watch. There's a handheld quality to some of the action scenes that definitely makes you feel like you're in the middle, in the thick of the action. You might be able to see what's going to happen with this movie before it happens. You're still going to be somewhat invested because of the directing style, because of some of the sequences involved that do have that suspense factor. It goes without saying that this movie is not Training Day, and not only that, it's not really a great film once you get right down to it. I do think that this film suffers from a heavy dose of tonal inconsistency. There are some moments in this movie that feel like they're part of that gritty, grounded take that the director is going for. There are other parts of this movie that feel so absurd and so over the top in terms of some of the acting, some of the character choices. You feel like it's a completely different movie. Some of the things that characters say and do in this movie causes you to suspend all disbelief, and you're forced to believe that it's detached from reality, but then at the same time the movie tries to go forward with that realistic take on things. It's just a tonal clash where you feel like sometimes the actors and the characters are trying a little bit too hard to sell what they're trying to sell, and it just takes you out of the movie a little bit. This affects the acting the most, I believe, because Frank Grillo, I mean, he plays the exact type of character that you would think he's playing in a movie like this. And he plays it kind of over the top in some ways where you're just kind of like, okay, you're trying a little bit too hard, dude. Coulter, aka Luke Cage, is also in this movie, and I'll say this, he is trying so hard to be a thug in this movie that it's laughable. Some of his scenes, some of his facial expressions and mannerisms, laughing my ass off in the theater because it looked and felt funny. I also think the dialogue in this film could have used a little bit more polishing, could have used at least one more rewrite. It's the kind of dialogue that sounds really cool in your head, but then once characters say it out loud, you realize how dumb it sounds and how it doesn't necessarily always flow and make sense within the scene. I mean, that happens to me all the time. I think of cool shit in my head all the time that I want to say, and then I come out loud with it and people are like, oh my god, you're so corny. I mean, that's a thing with me. I mean, hell, that's how Eggs on a Tit got started on this channel. I thought of it in my head when I was thinking about the cinematography for a movie, some video way back when. I said it out loud and now it's a thing on this channel, but I feel like you already know that it's really cringe and corny or whatever. You just accept it because I mean, come on, you know what you're here for. This movie had one of those long Return of the King style endings that didn't really work for me. Almost everything in the third act of this movie feels like it could be the final sequence of the movie, but then it just keeps going, and it keeps going, and I feel like they could have gotten to the finish line a little bit more efficiently than they did. I do want to point out that Anissa from Black Lightning, who plays Thunder, she's also in this movie, and she kind of elevates the grade for me. I walked out of this thing, even though it was really predictable and all those other issues, I'm like, okay, you know what? I kind of had fun. Black and Blue is an alright enough cop thriller. It's barely above average. I'm going to put this one in the golden age for Man of Steel. Guys, those are my thoughts on Black and Blue. Tell me what your favorite cop movie that you've ever seen is. Put that in the comment section below. Stay tuned for more videos. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show. And as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.